How's it going, Top Forest TV? My name is Jack, and welcome to my preview for Nottingham Forest versus Ipswich Town, taking place at the City Ground. So yeah, Ipswich Town, the next side that we'll be hosting at the world famous City Ground, and yeah, it would be an interesting one, interesting affair. This game, I think. Ipswich not doing too badly, to be honest with you. A few people had their question marks and their doubts over Ipswich, and it's still early days in the season. I think what we're on now, like game week 13, something like that. So there's still a long way to go. Don't get me wrong. Over half of the season remaining. But people had their sort of question marks and their thoughts on Ipswich, given the fact that they've come up straight away. They bounced straight up from League One. Their first season in the Championship, they got promotion. People have had question marks over whether they would be up to the level, whether it's a big jump too early. But other clubs have done it. I know Southampton did it, and they stayed in the Premier League for quite a while. So, look, it'd be really interesting to see how the season pans out for Ipswich. Towards the end of the season, whether they'll be able to keep up, what they've managed to do so far. But they're not doing too badly. Their last couple of fixtures, they've lost. Sorry, they drew with Man United last time out, and then they beat Tottenham at White Hart Lane. So they're a side who, are they're not doing badly at all, and they're really holding their own in these games against some of the bigger sides. They went away to Southampton and got a last minute goal in that game to I think it was to rescue a point, I believe. But they're not doing too badly, and they've got some really good footballers in their side. You look at his name just escaped from my head. Liam Delap. He's doing well, scoring goals in the Premier League. Maybe not on the sort of level that maybe Chris Wood has done so far this season, but he's doing well. He's scoring goals and he's contributing in that way. Leif Davis at left back is someone who was at Leeds and then ended up going to obviously to Ipswich, and he's done really well so far. He's someone who, given the left back situation in the England squad, could be in with an opportunity, a shout of playing in that role. I think he's a really good player. He was really good for them in the Championship, scoring some important goals and also contributing with assists, getting himself forward down that left hand side. They look like a decent side overall, Ipswich, and they don't look overawed by the occasion of being in the Premier League, and I think they're a different outfit to a Luton. They're not going to be one of these plucky underdog sides who are giving it a go. I think they're actually, in some games, they're fair value for actually the results they're getting, and I think they can be really happy with how things have started this season. There obviously has been some moments that haven't been great. I can't quite remember exactly who it was off the top of my head, but there was a game a couple of weeks back that they threw away. I think Calvin Phillips ended up getting himself sent off. And they either threw away a lead to draw or to lose. Might have been, I can't remember who it was against. Might have been like Fulham or something like that. I can't remember exactly who it was, but I have a memory of that that happening. Calvin Phillips getting himself sent off and it sort of spiralling out. Unfortunately, against them. But look, I think they're a side that we can't take lightly. We're not going to have, we're not going to be able to sort of pull up against Ipswich and be able to just, get 3 points and keep things moving. I think it's going to be a challenge. It's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. But I think we can be okay. I think we can beat them, and we should be beating them. I think as a football club, I think if we're wanting to finish top 10, top 12, then I think we've got to be beating teams like Ipswich. No disrespect to Ipswich, like I've mentioned, I've been very complimentary about them, and I think they're a very decent side, Ipswich, and a team that I think can keep themselves in this league. I think Kieran McKenna is a fantastic gaffer, and I think he's done a really good job, an exceptional job, let's be honest, at Ipswich, taking them up from League One straight up to the Championship. And I think he's a really good manager. But we should be looking at games like this, and we should be winning these, and we should be feeling like we are in a position to 9 times out of 10, let's say, beat Ipswich on Saturday. again, I don't want to come across arrogant, cocky, or like, overconfident. I think it's going to be hard. I don't think it's going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think we're going to, like I say, roll them over and give them, 2, 3 sort of goals past them. I think it's going to be tricky. It's going to be close. It's going to be tight. But I think we should be coming out with the win in a game like this. We've got to give them the respect they deserve. I think they, like I say, are a side who can cause problems, a side who have been able to get 4 points from 6 against 2 top 6 sides in Manchester United and Tottenham. So look, I think you got to like I say, take it as it should be taken. But I think we should be going and winning games like this. I think, given our last 2 games, 2 losses, we've now lost our first away game of the campaign, which is, it's a bit of a shame. And I think it's a day to forget, a moment to forget for Forest, that game away at Arsenal. It was sort of shades of, sort of last season and the Cooper seasons, where we didn't offer any threats, and we just looked to sort of. It seemed like we just allowed Arsenal all the opportunities to do exactly what they wanted to do, and we didn't play very well. And I think the Newcastle loss, there were positives in that performance. A good first half. We just sort of, we couldn't replicate it in the second 45, but this Arsenal game, it was from start to finish. It was not good, and we really need a good response from that. And I think Ipswich are a side that we could have had a lot more harder games in the division than Ipswich at home to bounce back from. They're going to be up for it though, buoyed from their confident from their last couple of fixtures. But I feel like we at home should be able to get something from this one. I remember obviously Ipswich at home holds some special moments for us. That day where we managed to clinch survival in the Championship. What would that be now? Phew. I can't even begin to think how long ago that was. Like 7, 8 years ago, something like that. Chris Cohen getting on the score sheet and Asombalonga having a brace, I believe. Even missed a penalty in that game. Scored one and missed one. To keep us up on goal difference. But yeah, I feel like we should have enough in our ranks to be able to beat them. But I don't think we can just be a sort of a foregone conclusion that we've gone and beaten them. I think it's going to be a difficult game. We're going to have to battle and work hard, but I think we've got enough in us to be able to go and do that. Starting 11 for me, then I think you got to go in goal. Matt Sells, that goes without saying. Definitely Nuno's number one. Obviously, we've got Carlos Miguel, but I think it'll take a bit of time for him to bed in. And I think Sells has done a good enough job, so I think he deserves to go in there for me. Even against Arsenal, he pulled off some big saves and, kept in the game as long as we could be in the game for. So I think, yeah, happy with him. I think it'll probably be the standard back four, being if everyone's fit. I've not read up on whether anyone's looking to be out or anything like that, other than ones that we already know. So I think for me, a back line of Aina, Murillo, Milinkovic, and Moreno. I think you can't go wrong with that. I think we need consistency in that area, and I think keeping the same back four, even though obviously we didn't have a great defensive performance against Arsenal, but not many teams do, and I think sticking with that back four, I think it's going to be crucial to keep that solidity, that consistency there. So I think, yeah, for me, go with that back four. Midfield, then the 2 holding midfielders, central midfielders, however you'd like to describe them. I'd love to see Elliot Anderson back. I know he didn't play against Arsenal. I'm not sure if he was picking up a knock or if he was just being rested after international duty with the under-21s. Not too sure on the situation with that one. So if he's back, I'd love to see him play. If not, then obviously we look elsewhere. I think if Anderson does play, I'd like to see Dominguez alongside him. I think Dominguez offers a lot of energy. Actually, hang on a minute. No, hang on. I changed my mind. I'd rather see Anderson in the number 10 role if Gibbs White's not available. So if Gibbs White's not available, then I'd see Anderson in that number 10 role. If he is, then maybe Anderson a little bit deeper. But I'm led to believe that Gibbs White probably won't play. So if he can play, Anderson in the 10 would be the one for me. Sorry, I'm very thirsty. All that talking is yeah. Well, what am I on about? Let's just get back to the start 11. Yeah. So I think Anderson in the attacking midfield role, if necessary, with Gibbs White being out. But I think even if Gibbs White is playing, which I don't think he is, I think you've got to go with Anderson in the midfield if he's fit, because I think his ability on the ball is brilliant. He can carry the ball nicely under pressure. You saw against Crystal Palace his quick feet and his close control. I think he's a fantastic footballer, and if he can play, then I think we should play him. Dominguez in midfield as well. He's just such a live wire. That man never stops running. He just hunts the ball down, and he just offers a little bit of a tenacity in the middle of the park, which we really like. Obviously, if Anderson's not fit and or he's in the number 10, then I'd go with Ryan Yates in the midfield. A lot of opposition fans don't like Yatesy, and they deem him sort of like a dirty player. I think for me, it's more sort of, I'd say it's commitment and passion rather than dirty. I don't think he sets himself out to go and hurt people. I just think his commitment, his passion, his love for the club, and the way that he plays. He does play on the edge, and he's got to be careful of that. I believe, it can be viewed in a way of being dirty, whether it's meant that way or not. It can be viewed as that, but I think. Yeah, I'd love to see him in there, getting stuck in with the tackle. I think Ipswich will be looking to try and do that on their side, so I think having someone like Yatesy in there could be really helpful. The wingers for me, then, obviously number 10, I'd want Anderson or Gibbs White. Wingers for me, you've got Alanga and you've got Hudson-Odoi. I think Hudson-Odoi should start for me. Alanga, I've seen a few people on Twitter who, been at more games than I've been at, and probably definitely watched a bit more of him than I've been able to myself. I think they've not been very complimentary of him. They've sort of been open to the fact that we wouldn't be against letting him go, and I think you got to be careful of that. I think on his day he can offer a lot, and he's a good player when he's on it. But if he's not on it, then you're not going to get much from him. I would love to see Jota start. I think Jota, when he comes off the bench, he's always getting himself involved in some way, shape or form. So I wouldn't mind seeing him start over on that right-hand side. But if he goes for Alanga, I wouldn't be too disappointed, but I know a few people who might be. And then through the middle, it's got to be the man, Chris Wood. Obviously, didn't start against Arsenal because of jet lag and coming back really, quite quickly after being at New Zealand. But I think you've got to start him for me. I really think he needs to start. Taiwo, I love Taiwo, and I really am thankful for everything he's done for us. I think that first season, if it wasn't for him, we would have been in big trouble. Came in and scored 10 goals, even being injured for quite a bit. Scored some humongous goals. That goal against Arsenal at home, that kept us up. You're never going to forget him for that. The goal against Liverpool at home, that same season, amongst others. Scored a couple against Southampton in a crucial game towards the end of the campaign. But he doesn't look the man that he used to be. He doesn't look the same, and it's really sad to see that, because I love Taiwo. I really think he's a fantastic footballer, but I think he just looks like he's devoid of confidence. He's not that same guy that he was, and I think for me, Chris Wood is the opposite. Everything he touches turns to gold, and I think he's just a fantastic goal scorer. We know what Woody's about. Player of the month for the Premier League last month, and I think a man like that, he hasn't scored in 2, but I think give him a chance and he'll score. I was at the opening game against Bournemouth, and the only shot he had on target he scored from, and that was pouncing on a rebound from a Yates effort. So I think, we talk about. I could say so much about Wood, but you guys know about him already. I love that man, and I think he has been so huge for us in the last couple of 18 months, let's say. Scored some massive goals for us, goals to get draws against City, goals to to beat. I think he scored. Did he score against Sheffield United? I can't quite remember, but he scored some big goals. A hat trick away at St James's Park on Boxing Day last year. Big goals this campaign. Last season he scored a winner against Sheffield United earlier on in the season, and I love him. I really love him, and I think we'll be much better with him up front. But yeah, I'm feeling that we should go on to win this one. I think it's a win that, like I say, if we want as a football club, if we want to get where we want to get, we need to win games like this, and I think we should be able to do that. In terms of scoreline, then I think I'm going to go with Forest 2, Ipswich 1. I know we're decent defensively, but I just see them getting a goal. But I still think we can get all 3 points. But yeah, bit of a longer one than normal this video, but had a little bit to talk about. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and you are enjoying the content you're seeing around here. And yeah, thank you for watching. Comment down below what you think might happen in the game and all that good stuff. And yeah, come on, you Reds.